Hello again. Now, Alexandra residents do not have to live in fear after recent shootings in the township. It would seem that help is now on the way. The area has been tense since the shooting of 10 people. 6 died in a single night just a few weeks ago. Well, to discuss the new measures that are going to be put in place to protect the people of Alexandra, I'm joined by David Tembe. He's from the Joburg Mayoral Committee and he's a member there for community safety. Mr. Tembe, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon, Brother.
Isn't it tragic that it had to take the killings of 6 people in one night for new measures to be considered in Alex when people have been complaining for a long time about safety and security? What's your view?
Yes, it is tragic because I visited some of the families after Mr. Mashaba visited them. So I visited them. I spoke to the parents and then it was really tragic. And they were crying and said that something must be done. And of course, since I'm a member of the mayoral community and public safety, I had to take steps and ensure that we do something about it.
Okay, so what kind of steps now are going to be put in place by the City of Johannesburg's Safety Department for the people of Alex?
We have deployed 64 officers effective today. 64 officers on top of 90 officers that we have in Region E.
And these are metro officers?
Yeah, these are
This
metro
is not
officers.
SAPS?
No, it's not SAPS.
So therefore this measure is in addition to what the SAPS might be doing for itself?
Yes, we are going to work, of course we work closely with SAPS.
Okay.
But as the city, we have got 90 officers that were there and then 64 that have deployed there today, plus minus 54 cars that will be working in there. But for us, in terms of crime prevention, we are doing what we call it 22 points. So okay. 22 points, it means at any given time, we are going to have 22 roadside checks in Alex, but we'll upgrade it to 44 points roadside checks in Alex, so that wherever you go, you must see JMPD, you must see the police. Our job is crime prevention. We don't have to wait something to happen so that we respond.
Yeah, I guess many viewers will say hallelujah to that, because the issue of crime prevention will therefore mean that people will never get attacked, people will not get raped, people won't get killed. But just explain this 22-point system that you're talking about. Is that going to be 24/7? Is that during the day, during the night? Now you're putting an extra 62 JMPD officers in addition to the 90 that are already there. That's more than 150. Plus you're going to have some 50 vehicles and these 22 points. Is it 24/7?
Yes, it is. It has to do with certain times. So that maybe for 4 hours we have these 22 points. And then at night, about 5 hours, we'll be having about maybe 44 points. Because I've been driving there. But it's not only about the deployment of the police. There are no lights in Alex.
I was going to come to that. I'm glad you are raising it, because are you then working with your colleagues who have to be responsible for such infrastructure like city lighting in Alex?
Yes, we are working together with other MMCs to ensure that we put these things in place. We can't win crime if it is Alexandra is in the dark. We won't be able to win crime if we don't cut grass. We won't be able to win crime if there's no infrastructure that will enable the youth to go and play soccer, for an example. So we need to look holistically on how we can save. If we can win Alexandra, we can win anywhere in Johannesburg. So
your colleagues that are responsible for, let's say, maintenance, cutting of grass, are they aware of this point you're just making, that the higher the grass, the taller the grass, rather, in some of the areas, and the darker the alleyway, the darker the street, the more dangerous it is?
As the city, we are working on it. It's just myself, I had to immediately deploy about 64 officers. But all the MMCs were working together to ensure that Alexandra is safe.
Okay, in your area of responsibility, are you satisfied that 150 is enough of officers on the ground? Are you going to increase them?
Yeah, it's not a matter of numbers. It's a matter of commanders, deployment strategies. You have to deploy where the needs arises. But you can have 150 or 1,000 officers. But if the commanders are not doing their job, they'll end up sitting under the trees and doing nothing. We need to streamline the commanders so that everybody is accountable. It's a matter of accountable. On this one, every Tuesday, I want to have a report of saying, for the last 7 days, what are the issues that we have dealt with, and how are we going to improve it? So we'll do it on a seven days basis.
The reporting. Okay, now you were the head of the Joburg Metro years ago. So you were in charge of the Joburg Metro years ago. Now you are the political head. You got the oversight on behalf of the council. Where are the gaps that you are able to address? Because when I interviewed you a few months ago after you took over, and you're talking about how you're going to make Joburg CBD cleaner and safer, you had a strategy. Now, currently, we're seeing these upsurge, let's say, of crime, like in places like Alex. I don't know what's happening in the CBD. Where are the gaps, in your view? Where are you plugging? What are you plugging? You said you need capable commanders who've got good strategies and are able to deploy the resources appropriately. Where else? Where are the gaps?
Yes, what I've picked up is that we need to have commanders that knows what they are doing. But if you can have officers that when they after parade, they don't know what they are doing, then that's where the problem is. So you must be able to give them, you must assign them to a certain place. And say, for an example, we have got issues of illegal dumping. Illegal dumping, people come and dump in Alex. We have got the issues of where there are no lights, people get raped. So those are the issues that we have to do. So you need to work very closely with the community, with the councillors, other law enforcement, securities, patrollers. So all those, you bring them together, then you'll be able to win the issues of...
One of the things that government and municipalities and you councillors and everybody is criticized about is the fact that when there's a big thing that has happened, everybody goes there, you say the right things, you do the right things, and then a few weeks later, it's back to normal. The police have disappeared, and then crime continues. Are you going to sustain this anti-crime operation that you are undertaking in Alexandra?
I think I've got a track record that I've sustained whatever I've done. So I won't talk for others, but in terms of public safety, we're going to sustain it.
How's the Joburg CBD?
Joburg CBD, we're busy with it. We have been challenged, we've been taken to court, but watch next week what will happen.
So you're going to still, because you increase the number of JMPD officers around the hotspots areas of downtown Johannesburg, and the visibility. You said you were very big on visibility at the time, but you wanted them to be available and easily accessible to protect the people. When you say watch this space, are you talking about changing the strategy? Are you talking about tightening the strategy? Are you talking about intensifying your strategy? What are you talking about when you say watch next week?
We're going to intensify the strategy. That's what I can say. But
okay.
Watch what will happen next week.
Okay. This is Johannesburg. Alex is there. Soweto? Any plans for Soweto? The area that follow under you as safety, community safety, where there are some hotspots. Are you planning there as well to deploy resources? How are you going to be tackling those?
Dan, I'm glad because I've worked with you for quite some years back. Now we've got 22 points in Alex. Same time, we have got 22 points in the inner city. We have got 22 points in Soweto, as we are talking right now. It's not only in Alex. So I'm covering all these other places.
So our angle to talk to you was Alex, but when I have you in the studio, I need to understand what else is happening, because lawlessness and crime seem to have spiraled out of control wherever you look. I mean, I know it's not in your jurisdiction, but what happened in Krugersdorp, I mean, as Minister Begicele said correctly, so it's a shame of the nation what happened to those eight young women there. So we don't want to be seeing those things. Yes. And what happened in Alex, when people are walking in the streets and they're killed just for cell phones, shot and killed in their own neighborhood because it's dark streets, as you said, and the police are not available. So I just wanted to get a sense for you. Are you confident, Mr. Tembe, that as time goes along with your strategy that you promise to sustain, you'll begin to really crack the back of, one, petty crime, right up to serious crime? Are you confident?
I'm confident because at the moment we are looking at having municipal courts. We don't have to block the courts by petty crime. Once you can deal with this petty crime, at municipal level, municipal courts, then we have won the...
So the city of Joburg is busy looking at rolling out municipal courts to tackle whatever will be described or defined as petty crime.
Yeah, with the executive mayor, we're busy with it. We're working on it. It has been started by former Mayor Mashaba about that we must establish municipal courts. So that issues like urinating in the street, I mean, issues like drinking on public, those are petty crimes that we don't want to clock. But if we can have our municipal courts, then we'll be able to deal with it. Driving under the influence of alcohol, we will deal with it.
Yeah, I need to ask you this, your views as well, and as a council, maybe you can share that, especially because Dr. Mpopalas is the mayor and she's female. It's August.
Yes.
It's Women's Month. What would you say to a woman who might be watching us from Alex, particularly, who's been scared that I can't even leave my home at night to go to the corner shop or, the local tavern? We've seen tavern shootings in Soweto. What's your message in terms of Women's Month and us and communities protecting our women?
Yes, I've been speaking to them today because I was there when I was launching this. And they say they are going to invite me and the members of the mayoral committee so that we can talk about the safety of women. Of course, it's a Women's Month. It must be driven by women, and we as men were supposed to support them because even in ourselves, while I was the chief of police, I promoted 80 women so that they must be able to deal with these issues in Johannesburg Metropolis. So we support women and let women lead us because they are affected, and we'll give them full support.
Are you assuring them, reassuring the women of Alex, particularly where you were launching this today, that going forward from today, they will be safer?
Yes, because I trust my commanders that they'll make sure that women are safe in Alex, not only in Alex, but in Johannesburg. Yeah,
you know what they say, Mr. Tembe? They say that you judge the quality of a lifestyle, of a nation, of a society, by the fact that its women can walk at night freely without fearing anything. And our country currently is failing to do so. Hopefully it's a beginning of a new phase for the women of Alex. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much, brother.
That's Joburg Safety and Security MMC David Tembe, who just launched a new intensified program to protect the people of Alexandra. And he was just sharing with us what's going to be happening. We're going to keep tabs of this because he's also busy in Soweto and in other parts of Johannesburg, including the CBD. He said, watch this space next week. Johannesburg CBD, the police, they're going to be intensifying their crime prevention measures.